Hello, everyone. Today, I'd like to welcome you to an introduction to virtual ratings. I'm Cheryl Faust, Ratings Chair.
And I'm Barb Yackel, the PSA Events Director.
Today, we'd like to introduce you to our ratings team, Kirsten Zeiholtz-Miller, who's our third Vice President, me, of course, as Ratings Chair, Barb Yackel, Director of Events, and Heidi T-Bear, Senior Director of Coaching Development. This team meets bi-weekly, and we make sure that things are running very smoothly for you. The Ratings Committee is comprised of discipline chairs, and each of those discipline chairs is in charge of their discipline. They work on study guides, edit the exams, and handle any issues that need to be taken care of in their prospective disciplines.
We're going to now take you on the steps of how you register for an exam and how you prepare for an exam. So the first thing you're going to want to do is to check the requirements of your chosen discipline and level. Next, you are going to successfully complete the basic accreditation exam. There are a couple of ways that you can obtain the BA exam. You can take it online, or you can take a Foundations of Coaching course, which at the completion of the course, you have a BA equivalency. After the BA exam is successfully completed, you're going to want to go to the Sports Science and Medicine exam. Now, there are 4 levels of this exam, which corresponds to the level of each rating discipline. As you all know, there's a registered, certified, senior, and master. If you're taking a registered level exam, you will need the corresponding sports science at the registered level. A lot of candidates choose to get the sports science and medicine exams taken, all of them at the same time, and get them out of the way. And you can take them in any order that you'd like. After these steps are completed successfully, you will then register for an exam date that fits your schedule. You will find the exam dates listed on the calendar of events in the PS Magazine, in PSA Today, so you'll need to watch our website. To register for the lottery is open for the specific date for 1 week. So you will have 1 week to register, and there is no payment required at the time that you register for the lottery. So just for an example, let's say the exam is October 23rd. The lottery opens on September 12th, which is a Monday, and concludes on Friday, September 16th. On Monday, the 19th, the lottery is selected, and it's a random draw by number. You are notified whether or not you are in the lottery, and then the process begins through email to get you paid for the exam, and then we start the paperwork process. So if you are chosen, you will get an email with the step-by-step of the required paperwork. In the paperwork, it is a resume, a verification of the test requirements, and then you, depending on your level, for the registered level, you will need a current concussion certificate. For the certified level, you will need a current first aid certificate. And for the senior and master, you will need both first aid and CPR. The next step would be to start your study and prep process for the exam, and then, of course, taking the exam.
All right, thanks, Barb. Do you want to go over the pre-exam information as well for us?
I will. So okay. After all of the steps on the previous slide are completed, you will be getting emails from me, which is byackel@skatepsa.com. And those emails will be reminders of paperwork deadline. If you're in a discipline where video submission is required, you will have a date to submit the videos. And we'll get into that a little bit later. The exam schedule is designed and is sent out to make sure that it is side by side with your schedule for that particular day. Don't be afraid to send an email asking for a different rating time, or what is even better is if you know on the designated exam day that you have a conflict, it's really helpful to me to know that ahead of building that schedule. After the candidates sign off on their exam slots, examiners and trial examiners and observers are scheduled into the exam schedule. Each candidate has the right to decline trial examiners or observers in their room. Remember, this is your exam and we want you to be comfortable. It also goes for examiners that are assigned to your exam. If there is a conflict with one of the examiners, please let me know as soon as that schedule is sent out. The week of exams, you'll get multiple emails. There'll be a pledge of confidentiality, which needs to be signed before exam day, and you'll also get the final schedule with Zoom links. I'd like to talk a little bit about the exam cancellation policy. We all have events that come up in our life, emergencies, family emergencies. So just so that everyone is aware of the cancellation policy, if you cancel your exam in less than 48 hours of the exam date and time, you will not get a refund, unfortunately, because there is not an option for us to fill that slot. So you will forfeit the exam and the exam fee. If you cancel the exam a month out, then we are able to give you a portion of your rating fee back, because there is an administrative fee that's capped 25%. And if we can fill that slot, then you will get a refund.
All right, thanks, Barb. All right, we are going to talk about some exam tips in order to make sure that you have a successful exam. All right, so we strongly suggest that you practice. So I would do a Zoom rehearsal with a friend, make sure that your camera angles are correct. Definitely do this prior to the day of your exam to make sure your Wi-Fi is set up and you're good to go. So the second bullet on here is camera angles, and I have a whole presentation on that you'll see. But you need to make sure that you know how far back you need to stand from your camera in order for us to see your whole body and for us to see it without any obstructions. Make sure you bring markers and paper for drawings. If you use a marker instead of a pen or pencil, it is so much easier for us to see it when you hold it up to the camera. A laptop is preferred if there is some kind of dire emergency and you have to use a phone. We'll make do with what you can, but a laptop or even a tablet is preferred. Make sure you've got a great Wi-Fi signal. This is critical. We've had a lot of, candidates that don't have a great Wi-Fi and it's glitchy. It's hard for us to understand them. So make sure that you have a good, strong Wi-Fi signal wherever you go. And plan for an appropriate space. You want a clutter-free area that you feel easily that you can move about and show us body parts and explain what you're doing, just like you would if you were in a lesson. Dress professionally yet comfortably, and make sure you have water accessible because you want to maybe take a sip, gather your thoughts before you do an answer. All right, on exam day, let's talk about how exam day actually runs. So you will get your Zoom links from Barb, like she mentioned, in an email, and you click on the Zoom link to get into your quote-unquote room. You'll be placed in the waiting room once you log in. You'll be in the waiting room until the examiners are ready for you. If there is a delay, they will either chat with you or text you or notify you. Just please be patient. Our examiners are working hard to make sure that every exam goes well. They are volunteers, and we want to make sure that everything is set up correctly for you when you come in. Once you get into the exam room, the examiners will introduce themselves and find out a little bit about you. All right, so your exam begins. You have your initial assessment first, which was formerly known as the written exam. These are simple, basic questions for that level. It is just a chance for you to kind of get warmed up for your exam. It is multiple choice, short answer, true, false, and it is going to be on the screen as a PowerPoint. You can either read the questions out loud, read them to yourself, or have an examiner or monitor read them for you. Whatever you're comfortable with, whatever the best way you can deliver great answers, that's what we want to hear. What we're looking for throughout your exam are clear demonstrations, tips and tricks you have for coaching. You don't have to always use biomechanical terms. You can use terms that you would use for a 7-year-old. Whatever you need to get your point across, then we'll understand what you're saying. And we're more than happy to listen to different versions of whatever you are trying to explain. If you need to draw things or stand up and demonstrate, pretend like you're in a lesson. That's the best advice I can give you. You may be asked follow-up questions that may or may not be directly on your exam. Those follow-up questions don't mean that you are getting the answer wrong. It means that you're either on the right track and we want more information, or you might have misspoken and we just are looking for clarification. But if you are asked follow-up questions, do not be alarmed. It is part of your exam. And at the conclusion of your exam, you will be placed back in the waiting room and then brought back in to be given your results. Feel free to ask questions, take notes. Remember that the 3 examiners that you just had, or 2 examiners you just had, are now 2 or 3 new friends. And you can email them, ask them questions. We're here to help you get your education. So that is our main focus. All right, Barb, take it away with the post-exam, please.
Okay, so at the conclusion of your exam, you'll be put back into the waiting room while the team of examiners deliberates, and they will bring you back in and you will get your exam results on the spot. Now, being that this isn't a virtual exam, normally you would be handed your exam sheets. Your exam sheets will be emailed to you within 3 days of the conclusion of the exam. Our first-time candidates will receive a special ratings pin from the PSA office sponsored by Jackson Ultima. Your rating certificate and letter are also mailed. 1 educational credit is automatically logged for you, so you do not need to submit an affidavit. It's all taken care of you by us. The candidate feedback, your feedback is very important to us. We value what you say. We read all of your evaluations that are sent in. So as a postmortem, you will be getting an email thanking you for taking the exam. You will get a 1-month free subscription to the PSA TV, and there will also be a link to fill out the evaluation. So you are evaluating our process and us, and we really love your feedback. So take the time to fill that out. It really helps us help you. So in our virtual world, we always need to expect the unexpected. We've been doing the virtual exams for about 2 years now, and we think we've seen it all, but there's always something new that pops up. So as the candidate, you need to expect the unexpected. If there are technical difficulties, the candidate will be informed. There might be issues during the exam with the candidate's internet or with the examiner's internet. The room manager will intervene and will make sure that the exam runs smoothly and without any issues. If you are put back into the waiting room, it is because we're trying to figure things out, not that you did anything incorrectly, but we're just wanting this to be the best possible experience for you. You want to be aware that in our lives where there's always emergencies, and if there's an emergency with an examiner, maybe they're delayed or they can't join us, we are going to do everything possible to keep your exam on schedule and as planned. So the room manager, you will know who your room manager is ahead of time, and there will be cell phone numbers to communicate with the manager and the monitor. So the best way to do that on exam day is by text messages, because not only will the examiner might have a delay or a circumstance that arises, but it might be you that needs to call us and say, hey, I've had an issue, I'm going to be a few minutes late. We will work with you. So We just want you to be aware that we're always there to help you no matter what the issue is. We're going to try and find a solution.
Thanks, Barb. Next, we are going to talk about the registered exams. The exam process for registered exams is 2 examiners with no backup. The candidate must pass with both examiners, or if there's a split panel, the exam recording will be sent to a 3rd examiner for the final decision. And the candidate will be notified within 48 hours or less of the final decision. We are always here to help you. We want to make sure that your exam process runs smoothly, that you have any questions answered prior to the exam or even post-exam. We love to hear from you. So please don't be shy about contacting us. Barb is always the lady of the hour. She will become your new best friend before your exam because you guys will be chatting about your pre-exam paperwork and how to set everything up for your exam. So you and Barb will be best friends. And also Kirsten is available for questions as well. After your exam, just remember that your examiners are now new friends and you can reach out to them as well for questions to help you on your ratings process. We hope to see you soon and we look forward to guiding you and helping you as much as possible. And we'll see you hopefully soon at the next rating site.
Best of luck on your journey.